regret it once he leaves here. But you have the right not to vote to accept his resignation. That would be page 8. Page 8, B1A. A1, I don't know, page 8. Just call it finger on page 8. All right, next.
No. Ms. McGee.
No on P on page 3 and everything else. Okay. No regrets for Mr. Fingers.
So you have said no on page 3P and finger on page 8.
Oh, I didn't vote no. I don't want to hold him back.
Regretfully accepted. I'm sorry. Next.
Mr. Ostriker.
Let's deal with the B1A1 first. Mr. Finger, Teaneck is about an hour and a half, and with traffic, it's 2 hours away every morning.
It's in the vote now, Mr. Finger. It's not, I mean, Mr.
For his
Ostriker, it's not in discussion.
I'm explaining, so for his benefit, I will vote against that particular thing, so that he doesn't have to take such a long ride every day. It's only a couple of minutes from his house, like our district. As far as page 2 and 3, O and P, I will abstain on those. And the rest is.
Hold on, please.
Page 2, O and P.
2 is on O and 3 is on P. Or reverse.
Okay. And a yes on everything else. Mr. Seidler?
Yes, except no to items I, J, J, K, K.
Hold on. Aye.
J, J,
Page 5 and 6.
Please hold. I, J, J, K, K is on page 5. LL.
M, N, and to the entire personnel.
Okay, the entire personnel, just so we're safe on that. What pages? That would be pages 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
All right, page 8 through 20.
Yes, just trying to. Did I say that right? Page 8 through 20. Next.
Mr. Silver?
I vote yes, but I vote no for page 5, II through double N.
II through double N.
And no to page 11, F 1 through 9.
Hold on, let's write it down.
And page 13, no, G.
What letter G?
Yeah.
There is nothing at G.
H.
No, that would be H.
Salary,
Yes, so the H till I.
It's including I or till I?
Until I.
Okay, so letter H on page
1
13.
through 4.
Right. So page 13, 1 through 4, page 13 and 14, H. Next.
and Mr. Thomas.
We're missing something there, I guess. All right. I didn't hear you.
What am I voting on again?
You're voting on the agenda. Moment of silence.
Can I just change my vote for a second?
No, you can't. We're in the middle of the vote. You can do that after.
Yeah, yes to doing one at a time. Yes to the agenda, except for O and P.
O and P on what page, sir?
Page
That's
2 and page 3.
Thank you. I didn't know the cameraman.
Okay.
Just turn the camera around so you can be reflected.
What? So 3 or so. Items O and P did not pass. Personnel. What was that?
No, items O and P did not pass. We need 5 affirmative votes. We have 1, 2, 3 no votes on P and 2 no votes on O.
What about personnel?
What about personnel?
Personnel, we had a no vote on all of it by Mr.
Can I ask you a
Seiler.
favor? Just can you compile that and let us know if it passed or not?
Well, I'm just saying now,
Oh, sorry.
Anything that had 2 no's doesn't have, because I think we're
we
just
need to have
gonna
5. Personnel, therefore,
I want to ask you that. While Mr. Fingers calculating, I believe Mr. Seidler said he wanted to change his vote. No, he doesn't.
Through the chair, while Mr. Finger is tabulating the vote, Mr. Inselbach, I have a legal question here.
But I'm being asked a legal question here.
Oh.
I don't want to charge twice. Jim, you hear that?
There's only 24 hours a day.
Right, right. Okay. He has an answer for you, Mr. Thomas.
Yeah.
Just take a second.
okay, on transportation, items I through NN did not pass. You only had 4 affirmative votes and 2 negative votes, you need 5 to pass. And on personnel, the following items did not pass. Page 11, F1 to 9, and page 13, H1 through 4. All other personnel items passed.
So which ones didn't pass on personnel again?
F1 through 9 and H1 through 4.
What page?
Oh, I'm sorry, page 11, F1 through 9.
Hold on, page 11, F1 through 9, which are appointments. 1 through 9 are appointments of public school
All
staff.
right, well, the
I would
superintendent
like-
needs to make a statement.
I would like for the board to reconsider the personnel. We need teachers at the high school. We need teachers in several areas, and that will definitely detrimentally affect our schools. And we've been talking in the whole meeting about ensuring that we have teachers and staff for our schools. So I would ask the board to please reconsider.
I'd like to ask the superintendent.
I have a question, and it's a legal question. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President,
I can't hear.
Mr. President, I have a question. It's a legal question. I was under the impression when I was trained into the board 8.5 years ago that when you made a motion for a particular motion on the board, that you had to vote with that motion that you made. Now, there was a motion and a second for tonight's agenda, and yet people voted against it. How is that possible?
I can't answer that, I don't know.
Is that legal or is it not legal? You have to answer that question.
Well, if you make a motion, if I can, well, that's what I'm asking. If the motion was to vote on the agenda, what was the motion? Was it to?
It was to move the agenda.
Can I just, if you want my opinion, I'm not going to be anyone's lackey here. Not at 9 and not at 10. If the motion was to vote yes, that is, apparently you're saying Mr. Seidler made a motion to pass the entire agenda. That would be an affirmative. He can't then later, if he made the motion to say yes to the entire agenda, to change that. He could, and I'm not on anyone's side here, as everyone knows. But the fact is, he could make a motion, and he could rectify that by asking to change his motion and change his vote. He could do that. But if he made a motion...
You made a motion. You made a
The
motion.
motion is to vote, not...
Oh, okay, well, that's what I'm asking. Don't get me in the middle of the warring factions here. If he made a motion to vote on the agenda, to vote.
Why don't we ask the President what he called?
Well, why don't we do this? Can we have a second? Because here's why we have you. Can we have a 1 minute break, please? Thank you. Can you go back to we're now stopping the meeting. All in favor of stopping the meeting? No, I don't want to be accused. Stop. Well, we're adjourning for a second, please. No one talk. That's why we have your beautiful computer system here. What was the motion made? Take your time. See, Fred, there's a reason. But there's a reason to have this. Let's get it. Let's hear it. Let's not talk now. Well, she's getting it. Mr. Thomas, I beg of you.
Don't beg.
I don't beg often.
Then don't.
Well, then just please. We're looking for the initial part of this voting. Take your time, don't feel pressured. As 40 eyes look at you. I want to. So.
In the interim,
Wait, we're not, we can, go ahead. Through the chair, we're back in open session. Oh, so you can't type as you read it. But we have a recording, right? Sir, recording?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sanders said move the agenda.
Well, now we can get into legalese and Webster's. Move the agenda. Mr. Seiler, move the agenda. What did you intend by the words?
well, I can tell you right now that I intended to vote no on the busing contract, and I was going to decide what I was going to do with the personnel based upon the actions of the rest of the board
On other issues.
as they pertain to issues that.
So, again, without, and I say this respectfully, I just need to know your intent on the word move.
My intent was just to have a vote